My name is Christy Nelson, founder and researcher of E.G.S Management Consult Inc. This webinar will give you an insight on the fintech market's advancements, its drivers, and potential disruptor. Sit back, relax, learn, and here we go. Well, we can't start a presentation without a brief intro. So here it is. I am a paralegal with an MBA, and instead of law school, I decided to start up my own consulting firm. I'm also going to just give you a brief outline of the presentation, the outlook of the market, why is fintech data important, what advancements with the inclusions of AI and cloud presents, the disruption of agility, and best practices for performance management. Are you ready? So, what is the market outlook? Well, taken from the perspective of SWOT, the growth potential is due to the technology aspect. The US is optimistic that within 10 years, 2019 to 2029, there will be a trajectory growth in revenue from 6.73 billion to 39.8 billion. The weakness, although this is not a new technology, it is rapidly growing, but there are no stable regulations and compliance in place. This also will present challenges to enforce them, especially with the influx of companies growing and wanting to do business outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. What are the opportunities? Again, technology will be that source to continue and improve its usage among this industry. AI is a driver that will also allow fintech to explore ways to differentiate themselves and provide new products and services. And threats. The more online presence, the more vulnerable we are to anticipate the increase of cybercrime and data breaches. So there should be ways to mitigate these events in the future. FinTech's regional analysis. As expected, North America has the largest market share because of their presence of major players. In addition, they also had the highest number of fintech startups, and this growth is expected because of 5G. Asia Pacific is the fastest growing because of their global AI and government initiatives. Their startups last year doubled in numbers, and this is expected because of their innovation of digital services to foster partnerships. Here is a list of some key players in the United States and internationally for your perusal. Data is fintech's food, especially when it's customer generated. According to the World Economic Forum studies, there are two data sources. Primarily external data was heavily relied on, but due to tech, they can now include internal sources in a more efficient and effective way to improve accurate reporting. FinTech's data sources derives internally from operations, which is 46%, and customer generated from transactions and demographics, which is 41%. This is important to establish FinTech's goal to provide human solutions and retention by being more customer centric. Here's the new source in town. It's called alternative data. Satellite photographs and social media can now provide new insights and give more accurate predictability on consumer behavior. Data quality is also a concern. Lack of structure still requires human intervention because of AI's limitations to annotate certain sources of data. Noise and missing points can also obstruct the accuracy of data, especially when it's in large volumes. Text market driver. Of course, AI is first and foremost, and its adoption will be the prominent feature and will affect business functions. It's also a differentiator in which the products will now become services to rely on cloud technology. Organizations will implement AI adoption depending on their level of needs. Large organizations will use it to improve their services for predictability and data efficiency. Startups will use it to seek opportunities to fill the gaps of unfulfilled needs. The future outlook is to focus on providing reimagined customer experience. 2020 is considered the cloud era. According to these key findings, 92% of organizations have their IT environment in the cloud. If you look at the other two percentages, it is a strong indication that cloud services are on the rise. So here are ways that cloud is implemented through fintech. First, there is self-service, which offers rapid and more accessibility with cloud technology. Then there's the remote feature, which offers flexibility for consumers to have access to their data and personal information, and for businesses to manage their processes from anywhere. Then there's the process of gathering and restoring large quantities of data and data management. The outlook for the cloud era is that it's an agile technology and adaptation is the key. It's the way for it to adjust to new trends, provide quicker response, and also easy market entry for new products. I also want to give a shout out to Miami and their tech community. Agility. It's fintech's double blessing as a driver and a disruptor. Being adaptable is definitely a necessary feature to thrive in this rapid growing industry. Startups and SMEs have a competitive advantage because as they grow, they can see gaps to fulfill needs and eventually form joint ventures and partnerships. The disruption is to larger organizations who must learn to adapt and pay attention to the market demands or trends, or else they will face redundancy. Here are some practices on management of market drivers. I'll just touch on a few. Agility. Accept the existence that it is a disruptor and learn to adapt. Data. Very vital to this industry, and cloud management will become a dominant feature. There's also the emergence of RegTech, which will instill regulations and compliance. And lastly, innovation to encourage the advancement between the United States and international businesses. Here are the references for my webinar. You can contact me if you want additional details. I hope you all found this webinar informative, and now it's the end.